Let me ask you a question. Would you rather have one great friend or lots of acquaintances? Me personally, I'd rather have one great friend. You see, friendship means different things to different people. Some people would prefer to have a deep relationship with one or two friends, like me, while others would prefer to have lots of acquaintances. Whether it's in movies, books, or even in real life, we can see examples of true friendship everywhere. But there's a big problem. Friends aren't perfect. They hurt us, they let us down, and they grow distant. And no matter how hard we try, we will never be the perfect friends either. But there's hope. There's a man named Jesus Christ who wants to be your friend. And not just a regular friend, a perfect friend. I don't know if you've ever felt so close to Jesus that you call him a best friend. Maybe that's the kind of relationship he's calling you to have with him. You might know the disciples. They were a group of people who followed Jesus everywhere while he was on earth so they could learn from him. But they were not just students and followers of Jesus. They became some of his closest friends. Let me read to you a story of how Jesus was a friend to his disciples, and now he can be a friend to us too. Matthew 14:28-31 says, Peter said, Lord, if that is really you, tell me to come to you on the water. Jesus said, come, Peter. Then Peter left the boat and walked on the water to Jesus. But while Peter was walking on the water, he saw the wind and the waves. He was afraid and began sinking into the water. He shouted, Lord, save me. Then Jesus caught Peter with his hand. He said, your faith is small. Why do you doubt? Jesus walks on the water, but that's not all he does. He invites Peter to walk on the water along with him. Unfortunately, Peter realizes that it's kind of crazy to walk on water. So he panics and starts to sink. But of course, Jesus saves him. After reading this passage, we can see that Jesus does so much here. He invites, welcomes, encourages, helps, supports, and challenges Peter. Let's go back to that challenging part for a second. As Peter's friend, Jesus knows that it's not just his job to support Peter, but also to challenge him, to make him better. A better person, a better friend, and a better leader. But it's not until Jesus has Peter in his grasp that he asks him, why do you doubt? When Peter was in need, Jesus didn't treat him with cruelty or insensitivity. But maybe you know how it feels to be treated like that, even by a friend. Sometimes we've been so hurt by others that we find it hard to think that God will treat us any different. But as we can see here, Jesus isn't like other people. Another reason people might find it hard to trust God is they've been hurt by the people they love in their time of need. As you might know, there came a time in Jesus' life and ministry when the disciples had thought they had lost him forever. He was killed and stayed dead for 3 whole days, but came back to life. It was nothing short of a miracle. I'm guessing the disciples were thrilled to have Jesus back with them, but also devastated when he said, I'm leaving again, for good this time, sort of. It was Jesus' time to leave the earth and return to heaven. But before he left, he said this in Matthew 28:19-20. So go and make followers of all people, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Teach them to obey everything I have told you to do. You know that I will be with you always. I will continue with you until the end of time. This is what we call the Great Commission. It was one of Jesus' very last words to his disciples before he left. Jesus promised his disciples that he would be with them no matter what. No friend, not even a best friend, can promise you that. John 15:12-13 says, this is the command I give you. Love each other as I have loved you. The greatest love people can show is to die for their friends. In this passage, Jesus says friends love each other so much that they're willing to sacrifice everything, even their lives, for each other. Does that sound like something Jesus would do or has done before? I mean, he did die for us, his friends. He didn't just teach us how to love one another. He modeled it. He set an example. So who is Jesus? These stories, Jesus' own words, and all the observations we made over the last few minutes make it very clear. Jesus is a friend. But he's so much more than that, though. He's better than a best friend. But okay, Jesus is better than a best friend. So what? What does that mean for you and me? 2 things. Jesus is a friend you will always need. I know because I've experienced it. He's calling you into a deeper relationship with him right now as we speak. Secondly, Jesus shows us the kind of friends we can be. It's never easy, we won't always get it right, but Jesus shows us how to love and treat the people around us. So again, who is Jesus? These stories, Jesus' own words, and all the observations we've made over the last few minutes make it very obvious. But now we know that Jesus is better than a best friend. Thank you.